Pharaoh Tutankhamun's tomb creation, King Tut's tomb creation, debunked as strange black spots have been found on the walls. A series of mysterious spots were found on the walls inside the boy king's tomb, potentially revealing his mysterious fate once and for all. Tutankhamun is one of, if not the most famous Egyptian pharaoh to have lived. His fame came in death and only thousands of years after he was laid to rest. For much of history, no one knew who King Tut was, a king whose legacy was almost entirely wiped from Egyptian history. It wasn't until Egyptologist Howard Carter set out to uncover this tomb in the early 20th century that the world was exposed to his noteworthy rule. Yet mystery still surrounds Tutankhamun, including the presence of strange black spots identified within his tomb. Tutankhamun's rule coincided with turbulent period in ancient Egyptian history. His father was Akhenaten, had ruled out vast religious changes, introducing monotheism, believing in one God, in a kingdom that had only ever worshipped multiple gods. Tutankhamun was just 8 or 9 when he took the throne in 1334 BC, hence the moniker the Boy King, and was advised by those who moved in his father's royal court. Reversing much of Akhenaten's changes, he ruled for 10 years before dying, aged just 18 or 19, and was buried in the Valley of the Kings, the vast expanse of desert that was home to the tombs of ancient Egypt's great rulers, the pharaohs. Nearly all of the tombs of the pharaohs were robbed over the following centuries, all but Tutankhamun's. However, what Mr. Carter found was not fit for a great king. His tomb was small, dark, and shoddily painted. Most recently, strange black spots were identified inside the tomb, a find which was explored during the Smithsonian Channel documentary Secret Tut's Tomb. Ordinarily, explained Dr. Chris Naughton, director of the Egypt Exploration Society, the ancient Egyptians adhered to very strict traditions for the afterlife, and there was a very clear, anticipated, articulated process for burying the king and making sure everything was perfect. Yet, as the documentary narrator notes, it appears that this was not the case for King Tut. Examining the features of walls inside the tomb, Dr. Naughton described coming across some very strange spotty marks, blobs of mold, not found anywhere else in the Valley of the Kings. Experts were initially alarmed. The mold, they thought, may be in part down due to the breath and sweat of the visitors who passed through the tomb on a daily basis, sometimes as many as 1,000 every day. But on reviewing the original photographs taken by Carter on entering the tomb, the black spots could still be seen, hinting that they had been there for thousands of years. Adam Lowe, director of Factum Art, claims the spots are the result of the tomb being sealed before the paint had dried. If true, it suggests that the painters who were tasked with decorating Tutankhamun's place of rest were in a rush to get the tomb done. Mr. Lowe and his team took high-resolution photographs of the burial chamber's paintings, including the black spots, and revealed each individual brushstroke of the painters clearly shows traces of brush marks that were made in haste. Lowe said, "The application of the ochre color is done very fast with bigger brushes. My estimate is that it would not have taken a team of skilled painters much over a week to paint Tutankhamun's tomb. Years of work were normally put into painting a king's tomb, the task being undertaken well before the pharaoh was expected to die. So why Tutankhamun's tomb was knocked up so quickly remains a mystery. His mummified remains tell us that he had died unexpectedly, much which may explain why there was a rush, and according to ancient tradition, only 70 days can elapse between the moment of the king's death and the sealing of the tomb. Other theories say Tutankhamun's tomb was actually intended for him. Elias Ismail, the Egyptologist who appeared during National Geographic's documentary Lost Treasures of Egypt, said she believed I had taken Tut's tomb for himself, for his own purpose, She found a number of similarities between the two pharaohs' tombs, saying many of the wall paintings were almost identical. She said both Tut and I opted for the same scene, almost like the same person chose what goes in each tomb. The biggest factor that separated the two was the fact that only I's tomb was fit for a pharaoh, much bigger inside, lavishly decorated, and done to a level of professionalism fit for a king. And this is on Express UK by Joel Day. Please leave your comments and thank you for your support. Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.